Well, good evening and welcome back to our wild card coverage of the National Soccer League playoffs for the final time. Here with my ever-present co-host Morgan Davey in the booth for this final game, and it's going to be a thriller. The Pink Nightmare versus the Scouts, two of the best, most informed, high-scoring teams in the playoff picture here, battling it out. But it was a scrappy, nervy 1-0 win the last time these two teams met at the home of the Scouts. A 1-0 clean sheet win for the Scouts. Maybe given the build-up in the offensive fireworks, we could be seeing more of the same, but let's preview and profile these teams. Pink Nightmare at home this time. Here are the stars. Van Laar in the goal, Nasser Voitens on the wing, and Dagvi making a name for himself this season in inspired form. And Morgan, what can you say about this Pink Nightmare offense and what is so impressive about them and how do they get to the playoffs here?
I mean, they really just had a streak of great form. They had 6 wins with 4+ goals in each of those games. So they've had a good fair bit of luck here.
Well, I think Morgan's point is a double-edged sword, a good streak. So it's important to remember the recency bias here. They were at 21st place in the table up till recently. It's been an impressive run of form, but could some of those old demons come back to haunt them? And one of many is in each of those games they have scored all these goals. They've yet to keep a clean sheet in any of them. So against the high-flying Scouts offense, again, who demolished the Charioteers 7-1 just 2 weeks ago, could have a tough test on their hands. Speaking of the Scouts, let's go take a look at their team now. Here are their star players. It is Deleon Crabtree on the right wing, Iskander El Ghazawi on the left wing, and then good old Jim Hoover up top. And the thing that you could say about the Scouts is they actually sat at 4th place in the regular season table at the end of the year, but because of the way the wild card seedings in the playoff picture is structured, they have to settle for the 5th seed in a berth in the wild card. But it's not something that's going to deter the Scouts. They've been here before. In fact, on their playoff run last year where they made it to the final, they came in as the number 5 seed. But Morgan, what pitfalls and problems could they run into this year, this time around, in this kind of situation?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but Sanchez really struggles there in between the two posts. Yeah, he only has 2 clean sheets throughout the season, so not the most strong performance by the keeper in the back.
Yeah, it has been sort of an elephant in the room that has been tension rising for time now. Again, they had a big free agent expiration. They pushed hard for Ion Grenadino. They don't get him, so they stick with Sanchez, but it's another bit of a rocky season for him, and his job could be on the line here in more ways than one, potentially. Well, again, as we know, enough talk, enough preaching. Let's see what happens when we put it into practice up there. Pink Nightmare and Scouts battling it out in Chicago in our final game of the Wildcard Round. Over to you guys now in the broadcast booth. We'll see you all back here at halftime in just a short while. Well, good evening and welcome back, National Soccer League fans, out here in Chicago with our final wild card game of the playoffs in this National Soccer League season. The Pink Nightmare hosting the Scouts, another 4 versus 5 seed. So far, all 3 of the previous wild card games have contained upsets. Both the 6 seeds beating the 3 seeds in the earlier 5 seed. Today, the Stealth just toppled the Olympians. So, will that trend continue here? The experts are favoring the Scouts, who are the lower seed here today, so good chance that it might. Kellyanne Cohn is your player to watch, German midfielder. The Pink Nightmare have been on a real run of excellent form, 6 straight wins in which they've scored 4 or more goals in all those games. Coming to the playoffs as one of the most red-hot, some might even say pink-hot teams in the league. But on the other side of them is the most underrated number 5 seed we've ever seen. The Scouts finished the regular season in 4th place and have amassed a total of 17 wins on the year, which is 6 more than the Pink Nightmare did. So a bit of a lopsided affair, but they were the number 5 seed due to the fact that Thunderbirds had already qualified from their division as the number 1 overall seed in the ASC. So a really interesting matchup here, probably the one that fans, pundits like myself, are looking forward to the most. Let's get a look at the lineups now. Pink Nightmare, no changes for them. Davi back in the starting role once again after missing that critical game against the Wyvern Riders due to suspension. And he has been in red-hot form this season, off the bench, and now in a starting role. No other changes to mention. Davi is the man to watch along with Nasser Voitens. Scouts, no changes for them. Back to their full-strength starting 11. DeConta Josemi, who missed most of the second half of the regular season with a knee injury, is back, captaining the side in the heart of midfield. That is a massive help for this team. But this Scouts team is not one to be taken lightly. They are on the revenge quest. They want to try to run it back. They made it all the way to the championship to be defeated by the Terminators last year. So they've got powerful motivation here on the road, looking to make it 4 for 4 in a matter of wildcard upsets here. The Pink Nightmare kick us off in our final wildcard game of the week. Our final playoff game of the week here in Chicago is underway. Pink Nightmare getting things rolling here. Here is Koenig. Trying to get away from Wilson. Nice tackle, though, from the Uruguayan fullback to his brother Wallaby. Scouts have been excellent defensively this season. In that regard. Now we're on the ball again. Bunting gets it forward to Hoover. Back in the lineup, who's been in red-hot form as well. Wilson does well to get it out to Crabtree. Runners in behind. Can the Scouts get an early start here? Looking for Althaus. Nice cutback, but Van Genetchen did well to get a foot on that one. Koenig and Toure playing it out. Ponchacao on the wing now. Here's Gabriel Harris. Remember, building from the back steadily as they like to do. Here's Davi. Nico nicely moved on for Voitens, who's got space to run in. Here he goes. Nasser Voitens to the byline. Did well to get past Mikhailov with ease. Cuts it into the box. Balboa bouncing around and headed away. In the end, good defending from the Scouts again. And now the counter's on. Pink Nightmare had a lot of players committed forward. This could be a problem. Gazawe is completely free on the far side. Iskander El Gazawe! And Gabriel Harris with a lung-bursting run to get back in position. Did really well. Exciting stuff in the opening 10 minutes here, end-to-end at the moment. And Lar clears his lines towards David. Nice little header on to Nico. Nico trying to break the line, and he has done. Big touch. Nico into the box. Going from range. Sanchez makes the save. Must have heard the footsteps because he pulled the trigger early. He had time to keep running with this ball, but wanted to take the shot before the chance was gone, and Sanchez makes a big stop there. Under fire goalkeeper. It's been up and down this season, but that's a big save in the game. Corner for the Pink Nightmare. This game has started as we expected. High energy, end-to-end stuff from both teams. Voitens on the short corner. Off of Balboa, no handball there. Nico. Back to Voitens. Clipping it in for Davi, but Mikhailov gets there first. Toure. And going to be a handball or an offside. Not sure which one, but either way, it's Scouts' ball in their penalty area. It'll be important to see which team can strike first here. Try to run away with it. When these teams score, they do tend to score in quick succession. So that will be important to watch. Both these teams have struggled to keep clean sheets this season, though, just 2 apiece. So that's also something to watch as this game goes on. Certainly not invulnerable defensively. Here's El Gazawe to Hoover. And Genetchen, big step, gets in the way, but it's still with the Scouts here. It's Hoover on the turn! Van Laar with a big save. One of the most informed goalkeepers comes up big here to deny one of the league's best in Jim Hoover. Good strike on target. Good positioning, though. Gets his angles right. Able to push it behind from close range. Wilson to take. First corner of the match for the Scouts. Can they capitalize? Short to Hoover. Oh, he skipped away. He's inside now. Hoover lifting it in and cleared away well. Benyamina further from danger. Koenig couldn't win the knockdown, though. Wilson has it. Crabtree. Nice movement from Althaus. Ponchacao got to be careful here. Oh, good turn from Wilson. Into the area. Van Genetchen straight up. Ponchacao settling it down. Awfully casual at the back, but it works out. Davi wins another header. Davi has it back from Koenig. Toure. Looking for Koenig on the far side. Nice ball. Moving the Pink Nightmare forward. Go back to Harris, who's under some pressure here. Did well. Davi inside now surveying. Benyamina looking for Nico. Still pressing. DeConta. Josemi gets in the way. Excellent defensive work from the captain there. Benyamina, the one who hesitated there, caught in two minds, maybe about the shot or the pass. Oh, now Davi! Oh, my goodness. Everyone in the stadium, including Gilberto Sanchez, froze for a minute. Audacious effort. And it nearly pays off. Just wide of the top corner there. Sanchez sends it long to Altaus. Good knockdown header from him. Crabtree. Already approaching the midway point of first half action. Here come the scouts. Altaus with a free run to Hoover. In behind. Is this the opening goal? What a save from Van Laar at full stretch. Still alive here with Wilson. Crabtree. Can he cut it back? Van Genechten. Massive interception there. Now the break could be on for the Pink Nightmare. Sending Voitens into the channel. Here he goes. Mikhailov did so well, though, to get there first and win the ball. And now here come the scouts going the other way. Gazawe. Couple step overs. Here he goes. Inside. Found Wilson. Top of the box is DeConta Josemi. Waiting for a pass to open up ahead of him. Waiting too long, it seems. No, he's found his way through. Nice ball to El Ghazawi. Is this the moment for the scouts to open the scoring here? Benyamina gets a foot in. Good defending from both teams so far. Ben, don't break mentality. Here's Davi trying to break it open for the Pink Nightmare. On the ball again with Nico in behind. Can he make this one count? Here goes Nico from range again. The same thing. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he doesn't know either. Two really promising situations where he's taking the shot so early. Good chance, but not a bad save, but he could have kept going. He'd beaten the defenders there. Voitens flicks it in towards Davi! Sanchez got a piece. Not sure it was fully on target anyway, but couldn't take any chances. How can you let this man get that open? Good stop from Sanchez. It might have been trickling goalward, you know. Voitens now with Koenig as the short option. Will he take it? No. Goes inside instead to Mikhailov. Nice clearance there. Van Geneschen sends it back into Davi. Harris, offering support, but gave it away there. Heavy touch. Here goes Hoover. Trying to take on the defenders and now waiting for support. Half an hour played here, still goalless in this one. Crabtree. Inside to Hoover. Van Genechten having an excellent game, but he couldn't get the bounce right. And now it's El Ghazawi. Surely the opener. Harris toes it away. And Toure fighting for it in the box. Wow. How did the scouts not score? Here's Koenig now trying to carry it away for Nico, but Josemi ran with him stride for stride. Balboa. Mikhailov. Scouts trying to settle things down now. Pick their passes, pick a moment. Here's Altaus trying to do just that. Hoovered. Runners either side. Goes to El Ghazawi. Wilson. Hoovered searching. Drilling it in. Surely the opener. There it is. Iskander El Ghazawi has found it for the scouts. And they take the lead late in the first half. Well, they have been pressing. And El Ghazawi over to the scouts fans to celebrate the opener. The first step on the road to revenge. Scouts take the lead here. What a ball from Jim Hoover. And El Ghazawi taps home through the legs of Van Laar. Unfortunate for the keeper who saved everything else. Just couldn't quite get the reaction in time. A big goal for El Ghazawi there. Lately it's been Crabtree from the other wing creating more chances, but he's got a goal. How did the Pink Nightmare respond? First time they've trailed in the last 6 weeks, which is an insane thing to think about. Goes long to Koenig. Wilson getting in the way. Excellent defending again. Josemi and Balboa play it really well. Like we said, the Scouts and the Pink Nightmare both do love to score quickly one after the other. And the Scouts double up in fast fashion here.
Wilson. Gets it back to his brother Wallaby. Here's Hoover. Looking to turn provider again. Wilson in space. Van Laar able to hold on to the ball. Rolls it out for Conchicao. There'll be a ball through the middle, but it does connect. Yamina. Avi. We're going long, but not really a great idea there, given away cheaply. It's a play out of the Charioteers book right there, I must say. Here's Josemi. Nice ball to Althaus. Has Wallaby Wilson ahead of him if he wants in support. Dosser Boynton's defended it really well, though. Pinched it back for the Pink Nightmare. Here comes Davi. Looking for Koenig. Josemi, the last man to defend him. Here's Koenig. Josemi battling it out. Slows him down for now. Here's Davi. Inside to Koenig. Koenig looking for the ball to the back post, and Mikhailov was in the way. Have the Scouts found the way to temper this Pink Nightmare offense? Held without a goal in the first half for the first time in the last 6 weeks as well. Trainer steps across. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. The Pink Nightmare to try and get a goal back, otherwise the Scouts will go into the break with a lead and 1 foot in the door of the divisional round in the ASC with the Thunderbirds waiting. Hoover, rather the Kodiaks waiting, pardon me. Here's Wilson, might find Crabtree in space. Conchicao gets there, but that's going to do it for first half action. And there is the referee's whistle. The Scouts with a nervy 1-0 lead here in Chicago. The Pink Nightmare trailing, the trend continuing. All of the lower seeds so far winning their games. El Ghazawi with the all-important goal in the first half that sets these two apart. Back over to you guys in the studio for a quick break. We'll be back to bring you the second 45 and the thrilling conclusion of our wildcard coverage in just a moment here in the National Soccer League. Ow.
Welcome back to our studio again. As we expected, a low-scoring affair, of course, between two very high-scoring teams. 1-0 to the Scouts, as it was the last time they met in Week 12. But this time, playoff implications on the line. Morgan, what can you say about that performance from the Pink Nightmare in that first half? What can they do to improve in the second?
I mean, they got to settle down. You know, they keep shooting from tough angles, and, they have to mark the wide players better as well. So I think really they just got to get back to the basics.
Yeah, it seems like the Pink Nightmare didn't listen to our grade A scouting report here in the booth before the game. The wide players, two folks, Crabtree and El Ghazawi, that we keyed in on before the game, have been having their way. El Ghazawi getting the goal in that first half as well. So for the Scouts, it really is just more of the same. Exploit the formation. They've done their homework. They know the weakness of this Pink Nightmare defense is in the wide areas because Boytons and Koenig are pushed so high up the pitch. So they've done a great job of attacking both the wing sides of the field and then crashing into the goal when they need to. So let's see how the second half turns out. Can the Pink Nightmare rally a response, or will the Scouts take control in the second half as they often have this season? Back over to you guys at the broadcast booth. Once again, we'll see you all at full time in 45 minutes.
Welcome back, National Soccer League fans. The Pink Nightmare in an unfamiliar position. They are trailing at the break for the first time in a long time, and they have been held scoreless in this game so far as well for the first time in as much time. And now there's trouble for Davi. Oh dear. Oh, I think he's a very, very lucky boy there. There was a fracas in the middle. It was a rash challenge on Hoover. He flew in, didn't get it. Studs were high. I think he's very lucky to be on the field after all. He has had his problems with his temperament this season. Third yellow card of his campaign as well. Already been suspended once for back-to-back yellow cards, and now in trouble with the referee again here. That's an awful free kick from Wilson, though. Gave it straight to the Pink Nightmare. Koenig's now trying to launch one long. What a ball to Davi. What a pass. The cutback is leaving something to be desired. Given away again. A little bit of a slow start for both teams in the second half. Scouts trying to turn it on now. Wilson. Sending out wide to Crabtree. Here's Althaus. Can he find the ball around the back door for Wilson? Conchicao defended it really well. And Laura with a bit of a skill move in the mouth of the goal. Something the Pink Nightmare fans didn't love, but it worked out. Davi flicking it on to Koenig. Some space here. Toure. Davi has it again here. Cuts it back to Benyamina. Got wide, but another misplaced ball from the Pink Nightmare. Pressure of the playoffs may be getting to them. Now here goes Hoover. Into Crabtree. See if other team looks to start making some changes in the moments that come here as we approach the hour mark. A little bit of a pick play, but it's worked out there. Hoovered. Josemi going from range. Hoovered's in to make it 2 and has! The Scouts double up here, and the Pink Nightmare are in trouble. Another upset brewing in the playoffs here. Assist in the first, goal in the second. That's just an unfortunate bounce. There's nothing to be said about it. Trainer maybe could do better tracking the runner here. Once Hoover's in this position, there's no doubt nothing Ben Lahr can do. Continues to add to his stellar season, Jim Hoover. That is goal number 23, number 5 on the scoring charts. And the Pink Nightmare are in real trouble here. Had their chances with Nico in that first half, just did not take them. Perplexing decision making by the Pink Nightmare. And Benjamin has given it away again. He has had a really rough game, honestly. After being the hero last week, Ganesh steps across, though. Important challenge. And the Pink Nightmare find a goal here. Nico. Lifts it over for Koenig. This is better. For Toure. Nice 1-2 with Koenig, but he was offside. Just not been their day offensively. After all that fireworks show, well, he looks pretty onside to me there. I'm not quite sure I agree, but I guess the knee maybe being judged, the goal-scoring part that was off. But they've just got over half an hour to play. Time is running out. Bastians is coming on for Nico. Frustrating day for him. Had 2 big chances. Didn't take them. Can Bastians provide a spark off the bench? Has hardly featured this season due to injury. Where is Hoover? Given away to Voigtens. And kept quiet on the day. Him and Davi both. Scouts have stuck to their assignment well. Bastians to Benjamina. Oh, and couldn't quite return it to Voigtens, who was advancing. And now there's trouble again. The counter could be opening up for the Scouts here. We'll have to make it all the way to the final if they want to see the Terminators again. Terminators will also have to go all the way through the gauntlet from the Wildcard Round as well, as now there's trouble for captain-on-captain foul here. A yellow card for Elder Toure. As Josemi was advancing, clipped the heel. Pink Nightmare are struggling to hang on at the moment. This game is in danger of getting away from them. That's the right call from the referee. It's a poor foul. Not when Toure needs to make. Benjamina had it covered in the middle. Gazawe, who opened the scoring here, now has a chance from 25-odd yards to get something on target here, maybe. Oh, 25 on the nose. How about that? Wallaby Wilson now joins the set-piece routine. He leaves it for Wilson, who lays it off for Altaus. Going to drive it! And just over the bar. The set-piece routine nearly pays off. Always rising from Altaus. Just over the bar. The other came down in the end. Pink Nightmare have got to get things going quickly here if they want to come back. Lahr looking to start it quickly with a goal kick here to Conchicao. Toure on the midfield in the turn. To Craner. Benjamina. Davi. Bastians. Ball on the return to Davi. Now Benjamina advancing. Can he make a difference here? He also tries to shoot from 20 yards out. What are they doing? It's just awful decision making from the Pink Nightmare attackers. Getting into these positions and then shooting with no pressure on them from 20 yards away. That's the 3rd time today we've seen it. It's just strange. Sanchez now in no hurry to take this goal kick, starting the time wasting shenanigans early. Scouts are edging closer with each tick of the clock to another playoff win. Had to run the gauntlet last year from the wild card seeds as well. Looking like it might be happening again here. Kodiaks will await the winner of this game. Here's Conchicao. Through to Toure. They've got to get it going. They've got to score a goal quickly here. Bastians to Benyamina. Josemi with a big tackle in the midfield to cut out the counter. Benyamina wins it back, though. Waiting's out wide. To the top to Davi. Nice ball, and then gave it straight to Bunting. It's not been a great game from Davi, in truth. Not had his usual magic stuff. Hoover. Behind to Crabtree. A third goal kills off the game here if the Scouts can find it. Nice ball from Hoover on the wing to El Ghazawi. Cuts it back now. It's a nice ball, and Van Laar spills it. What's the second straight game we've seen a goalkeeper who's had an excellent season with a real howler. And Hoover gets it done here for the Scouts. It's game over. Such a fine run the Pink Nightmare had to get into the playoffs, and then it's just come crashing down in their first game of the playoffs. This one straight at Van Laar. He just gets it all wrong. It's a good finish from Hoover. Man of the match performance today. 2 goals and an assist. And it's 3-0. And the Pink Nightmare are down and out. There is no way back at this stage in the game. Scouts have been the better team from minute 1. He's trying a solo run out here. Here he goes. Nice pass to Koenig. It's too little too late, though, no matter what at this point. And that's a hopeful ball at best. And Davi! It's a fine strike, but Sanchez is able to hold it from that range with ease. Looks like it is going to be another game, another 5 seed winning. All the lower seeds so far prevailing. How long can they push their runs? Kodiaks and Scouts will play in the conference round next week. Thunderbirds and Manticores on the other side. And then for the NSC, we'll have the Terminators and the Pioneers in the rematch there, as well as the Stealth and the Green Galaxy rounding out the conference or the divisional round. Comes to an end disappointingly for the Pink Nightmare here. Came into this game with so much form, so much swaz about them, and just could not keep it rolling here. They've been shut out today, which is the biggest shock of all, and Koenig is offsides again. Just all over the place. 3s and 7s. That one wasn't even close. They can hold their heads high about the effort they gave this season to get into the playoffs. 6 straight wins to run the table to make it here, but certainly some positives to build on for next year. A lot of questions to answer here because this has been a humbling at the hands of the Scouts. Jenkinson comes on now for Crabtree. Wilson carries it forward. For Semi. Good. Gone for Jenkinson. Harris heads away. Wilson to make it forward. It's Althaus off of Harris again, and it's out for a Scout's corner. All good teams are ruthless, as I say, pushing despite the 3-goal lead. Good block there from Harris. There's Jenkinson. Pinches it back, and Nightmare have it again. And they get a goal back to try and give something for the home fans to cheer about here. No way for a comeback at this stage. Consolation goal would not hurt, though. Here's Davi. Yamina lifting it in. Nice ball for Boytons. Hits him in stride. It's Koenig. Backed into Mikhailov. Koenig. Surely a goal here, and the Pink Nightmare do grab one back. It's too little, it's too late. Something at least for the fans to cheer about here. And sending off their season without a shutout. 3-1, Pink Nightmare get a goal back in the late stages here. Good finish from Koenig. Davi gets the assist. It's not been a great game for him, but still gets something to put on the stat sheet. Curious to see this, what the future holds for this Pink Nightmare offense, the midfield in particular, with Davi, Luigi Prestes returning from injury soon, Alder Toure, Benyamina, Laurent Cartier in the mix as a rookie as well. So many options, but surely they can't keep all of them on staff. In the attacking position with Colton, Austrians, question marks over their future as well. Althaus. Still with Althaus here. Toure wins it back. And Yamina. Voigtens into Bastiaans. And that ball is given away to Bunting. Poor ball from Bastiaans. If there was any chance of a comeback, it had to be a goal with that change. And now it is simply too late in the day. Bastiaans gave it away again. That is two directly awful mistakes there from him. Surprising to see him instead of Colton coming on, maybe, but here's Hoover. Josemi. He's been an excellent influence in the midfield in his return to the lineup. Doesn't show up on the stat sheet, maybe, but the presence, running the show, the tackles, the defensive and offensive support he offers. Very, very easy to underestimate here to this team. Those around the organization know his contributions well. Another poor ball for the Pink Nightmare. James though pinches it back. Back down. Voigtens picks it up. Trying to get going, staying positive here. Oh, it's a nice turn from Voigtens inside. Clips it in towards Koenig, and Wilson did really well to win that header. And then the other Wilson wins it back. Althaus to Jenkinson. 3-1 likely to be the final score here, barring a last-minute change for the Scouts, but Rayner in the way to prevent that. Voigtens did well, has had a good game, Voigtens, but didn't get enough help from his teammates in this one, fair to say. Here he is, inside, nice movement, but too many defenders in the way. And there is the full-time whistle from the referee. The Scouts have done it, 3-1 on the road here. Another wild card upset, 4 for 4. And none of the home seeds won their game. Incredible stuff here. The Scouts looking to return to the championship and try and find their revenge of last year's title defeat. Have taken the first of 3 steps in the right direction. Jim Hoover, man of the match today. 2 goals and an assist in a 3-1 win. That concludes our coverage of the wildcard round of the playoffs. We'll be back next week for divisional round stuff between these teams that we mentioned before. I'll have a full match debrief in the studio, but for now we'll leave you with the full match highlights. That's all you'll hear from me in our coverage of the wildcard rounds. I'll be back next week with some more.
Welcome back for the final time, National Soccer League fans. A tough way to go out for the Pink Nightmare here. A 1-3 defeat here. The Scouts beating them for the second time this season. And unfortunately, Morgan, the Pink Nightmare offense just cooled off at the wrong time, it seems, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they had a bad streak at the wrong time, right when it mattered most. And their amazing effort to get in, considering where they stood, is something to be very proud of. And, I think we all had a secret rooting for them in this season. So.
Well said, but many of us also have secret underlying rooting for the Scouts as well. Again, last year's runners-up, and the good feeling story goes on, trying to get back to the championship game, the Soccer Bowl, and exact their revenge and win their first title in club history. For the Scouts, again, that is the goal. Keep using the motivation of last year's painful loss as food to fuel the fire, and that's what they've done here today. A massive win. 4 straight upsets in the wildcard games. Every single seed that was ranked higher has toppled so far in these playoffs. Incredible stuff. Hoping for more of the same. Also worth noting for the Scouts, they got their captain back, Takanta Josemi, in the midfield, and what a difference he makes. Not a player who shows up on the stat sheets with lots of goals and assists necessarily in the defensive role, but his presence calming to the team everywhere on the field, marking players like Davi out of the game effectively. This one was incredible and cannot be overstated. Well, again, that's going to conclude our coverage of the wild card rounds. We will have a quick little preview on the screen now of what this means for the divisional round, which we'll be bringing to you live next week on Tuesday and Wednesday in the build-up to our final week of action in the National Soccer League, culminating with the end in the Soccer Bowl on Sunday in just over a week's time. There are the results, and here are the preview games for the divisional round next week, again starting on Tuesday. That will conclude our coverage from this broadcast of the National Soccer League. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you in a few short days to resume our playoff coverage. Bye-bye for now, then.